I need to turn my volume down. I had it on non-headphone levels. You were very loud there for a second, Jack.
That's just my awesomeness leaking through.
I said, "Are you ready to do this?" And in my head, you went, "Sure." Like, fuck.
I'm excited.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how the hell you doing today, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm mostly okay. My shoulder's still jacked up. I need it to calm down, but otherwise great. I had a really good day today. I even got out of the house and did some stuff. It was nice. I walked around for quite a while. My legs aren't killing me, so the pain I've been putting through myself through has been obviously helping some. So, that's a win.
Oh, wow, good for you, sucker.
Let that be a lesson to you, fat people. Get up and move. If you can't get up and move, you need to get up and move.
No, that's the wrong lesson because they're trying to make you skinny with their colonialist standards. We have technology of little scooters. The probably technology stolen from black people. But,
probably.
You should use that.
The mobility scooters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to laugh my ass off when I worked at Walmart because these women would come in. The scooters at Walmart are rated for 250 pounds. That's it. And these women clearly doubled that. I mean, you had some of them who more of their ass hung off the side of the seat than was in the seat.
Well, I think, unfortunately, there's a misconception that those are for fat people when they're really for old people and cripples.
Yes.
Like you broke your leg or something. But
they'd get to like the back of the store and they're like, the battery's dying on this thing. I'm like, no, that whole thing is dying.
Yeah, that sound you hear is the sound of the machine crying.
It's the steel that holds it together getting ready to break like the Twin Towers. Like, do your farts melt steel beams or what?
They hit an end cap and it's like the Titanic.
Yeah.
Starts going down.
It was always amazing. They're like, why doesn't the battery last in this? It's rated for 250 pounds. The battery lasts, depending on how much you use it, Jack, maybe 6 hours. And when you double or triple the weight on it, the battery life exponentially goes down like yours.
What?
But anyway, no mobility scooters. I've used one of those seriously one time and I hated it the whole time.
You want to hear a funny idea I had?
What's
that? That was a question.
I said, what's that?
Oh, you kind of cut out. I was going to get a mobility scooter and like get a mullet wig and then paint it the scooter black and put the little LED light on the front like Knight Rider.
Oh yeah, and then
I'm gonna drive around pretending I'm really fat Michael Knight and then drive it up a ramp into the vehicle and then drive off that way.
You got to be wearing the Michael Knight clothes too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The pleather jacket, red shirt, polo.
Red shirt open all the way down to your navel.
Yeah. So everybody can see my manly chest hair and my gut. It'd be awesome.
Well, the reason you didn't hear me a moment ago, Jack, is because a donation came through. Thank you so much, Keldrig. Now I'm waiting for it to reload because my internet's being shit, guys. I know that's not unusual, but it's raining here and it's been raining so bad. The AT&T gets really squirrely if we have too much rain. Thank you, Keldrig. The gods smote me with a mighty plague, but I am recovering and ready to make it everyone's problem. Well, welcome back. Hope you're feeling all right.
Yeah, I hope you get better soon, man.
Fallout Shelter, it's your birthday. This one is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Fallout
Shelter.
Happy birthday to you. We do have another. Oh, I hope you have a great birthday. I really, really do. Have lots of cake. I have cake ready for me upstairs, and it's not my birthday, but I couldn't help myself.
Diabetics is what?
Not today, remember?
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, my diabetes comes and goes. It's kind of like my internet connection. It doesn't always work. Thanks for going with me on that.
I can't support that, even as your enabler.
I am healthy at any size. Leave me alone. Before the stream, DeValen, I think is how you're supposed to say that. Thank you so much for that feminist $12. Could you guys sing for Significant Otter? June 6th is her, I'm not saying how old birthday because she's a lady, is her birthday, and I'm overjoyed that she's been my wife for 17 years now. For the record, yes, I do enjoy her odor. Oh, shit.
That's a throwback.
I laughed so hard when I read that earlier. Significant Otter, this one is for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Significant Otter.
Dear Significant Otter.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweetie. I hope you have a good one. I really do. And I'm glad he likes your odor. See, I told you that last time. Maybe he did like her odor. I'm psychic. Thank you, Adabisi, who says, howdy, monkey. Howdy, sir. Hope you're well. Thank you so much.
Real quick. Thank you, Adabisi, who says, welcome to the Fat Shaming with Monkey and Jack TV series. That would be an awesome show.
Hi, nuts. Oh, by the way, everybody who wanted a show last night and didn't get one from us, shame Retro. It is his fault.
That is not Retro's fault.
It is absolutely Retro's fault.
No.
Yesterday I'm sitting here bored, and I've been playing through the most recent update to No Man's Sky, and I got that all done. I'm like, I want to play something else. And I remembered Retro got me the update, the newest expansion for RimWorld. And I should not have turned it on until after I did a show.
See, that's your fault. It's not Retro's fault.
I look up and it's 6 a.m. I was like, oh, fuck. I just lost all track of time. It's Retro's fault. Everybody shame Retro. Bad Retro. No, Retro, you're awesome. But yeah. I didn't even have a good excuse for last night. Like normally I'm in pain or something right now. I was playing a video game and it's Retro's fault.
That's sad.
It's his fault.
Real quick. Thank you, Unit 731. Sadly, our doctors are experimenting in Pal World, but tell Monk we could help with his back. I don't think he needs another arm back there, but I will let him know. Thank you.
There's a significant update for No Man's Sky. Yeah, the oh shit, what's it called? I forgot the name of it now. There's a new season that dropped for it where you have to fly around. You're basically alone in the galaxy, except for not alone in the galaxy. It's look it up. It's Adrift. That's what it's called. No Man's Sky Adrift. If only there was a way to stream it, Monkey. Hey, you get Elon to make Starlink work better again, and I'll get back to streaming games. I might just do it anyway, because I mean the release for 7 days is coming up, and I gotta do that. We might just have to push through the shitty internet connection, which means I'm gonna spend half of it going, sorry. We'll see. But anyway, Jack, that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about black people stinking.
I'm sorry, what now?
I was gonna say you're not going with me on that.
I'm not going. No, I'm not on board with that one yet.
The NAACP is accusing American Airlines of being racist because they kicked 6 black people off a plane for stinking.
Did they stink?
I have no idea. I really don't.
All right. Have you ever sat next to a smelly person on a city bus?
No, I haven't rode a city bus since I was in San Diego. I have a very vague memory, so I'm going to say no.
I have been on many city buses, especially around the Columbus area. But when I travel, if I fly somewhere, I don't always rent a car, right? So sometimes if they have a good metro service or bus service, if you're on a train or a bus with stinky people, that smell lingers throughout. Dude. It'll spread throughout the entire capsule. Now imagine that pressurized at 30,000 feet in the air where you can't get away from them. You're going to have people vomiting. It's fucking gross. Body odor is disgusting.
Here's the thing. I was being a little facetious there when I said black people stinking. I don't think black people stink. I think some people stink. I worked at Walmart in a mostly white town, and I mostly dealt with white people, and everybody that I can point to that stank like hell was white as fuck. Wash your ass if you're going into public. I don't need to stink. Look, Jack, I get what you're saying because I worked at Walmart. You guys have been in a Walmart. It's not a really small enclosed space. And some of these people would come through your line and the stink would last for hours.
Yeah.
It would just
imagine
linger.
that in a tube, though, it tends to drift around. So they're going to be able to smell them in first class by the end of that flight. Because as good as they do at recycling that air, you can't do everything. Especially if there's a group of them that stink. That smell is going to drift. And it's going to be brutal for anyone next to them. They're going to smell like them by the end of that flight.
Well, the article I was reading about it told about some actor or singer, I forget who after his plane landed, he got stopped by the police for possibly human trafficking his children. He gets on the plane with his mixed race children, and the flight attendant comes up to talk to them, and he explains to the flight attendant that he has to tell the child his name. The child is just really shy. But the woman is like, oh my God, this might be a trafficking situation. That kid doesn't even know. He's got to be told what to say his name is. So she calls ahead to the airport and like, hey, we might have a human trafficking situation on our hands. They land, they verify it's his kids. He gets to go about his business. But he says this. He says, I mean, I don't know that it was racist. It might not have been. But if you leave it to me to guess, then I have to fill in the blanks. Like, you could see why they would be worried about that. The kids don't look like you. Sorry, mixed race people. Your kids have different skin tones most of the time. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I mean, I do think it's a good thing. I think we should all get that nice cinnamon mocha look. But you're having to tell the kid, hey, he actually said he told her, I have to tell him his name. If that's not a red flag.
Yeah, that's kind of a red flag.
Yeah, that doesn't point to racism. But yes, the NAACP, apparently, there's a whole bunch of issues with black people being on their planes, including stinking and trafficking their own children. I don't know. It's a good thing they check. Absolutely. Absolutely. Although you'd have to be a pretty bad trafficker to be, run around with kids that don't at least share your pigmentation.
Well, look, let's be honest. Most criminals aren't bright.
True.
That's why they get caught. And the smart ones hire somebody else to do their stupid work. Like, have you ever watched any of those border crossing shows like Contraband or the one Seized at the Border, stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's ones where they capture human smugglers occasionally, like people trying to bring little kids over from Mexico. Mm-hmm. And dear God, they're bad at it. Like, you guys are retards.
Well, the thing is, they get away with it most of the time.
Yeah, because nobody checks.
Yeah. So, look, I don't know if they're racist at American Airlines. I doubt it. We're at a place now where if it happens to a black person, it's because they were black.
Yeah, that's because everybody's hypersensitive, and the first thing they want to run to is not that I may have done something wrong or this does look suspicious. It's no, clearly you're a bigot. And that shit is way overblown.
To my black friends in the audience, let me assure you, as a white person, I deal with assholes all the time.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what your skin tone really is. It's a matter of how much of a dickhead you are. It sounds like this guy just worded the situation poorly when he was trying to explain to the attendant. It sounds pretty reasonable that she was concerned and they should check it out. Fine. Yeah. Is it inconvenient? Yes. Is it racist? I doubt it. Unless they're like, look at that Negro over there, which I doubt they did. And as much as I hate Southwest, I think they're okay on this one.
I don't know whether they were racist or not, but when your immediate reaction, I mean, he even says that it might not have been racist, but when you leave it to me to fill in the blanks, well, that makes it you, not them.
Yeah, that kind of makes him sound like the racist.
Speaking of racism, dun dun dun, the actor from The Wire, what the fuck is his name? Something Pierce, Wallace Pierce.
fuck if I know. I haven't seen The Wire in 10 years.
I don't know him from The Wire. I know him from a lot of other things, but he was in the news yesterday because he said he didn't get to rent a house because of he's black. Didn't give anything to show that it was because he was black.
No, that's because he didn't get to rent it because he's probably an asshole.
Well, I mean, it is a part. It's not on his criminal record because he went through some don't beat women training and that expunged it from his record. But way back in 2016, he got arrested for hitting a woman.
Oh, so somebody could have Googled him and found that out and be like, I don't think I want that person here.
Wendell, thank you. Wendell Pierce. I was close. That's probably the closest I've got a name wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wallace Wendell, it's not that far off.
No, you're really not. Real quick. Thank you, Unit 731. Don't worry, the pals have 3 arms on average and have an extreme cold resistance. Oh, well, there's perks there then. Cool.
The reason we're talking about Wendell, though, is he just had to share his experience, you see, because there was a case going before the 11th Circuit about the Fearless Fund. Do you know what the Fearless Fund is?
No.
The Fearless Fund is a venture capital firm that exclusively gives money to black women. Now, Jack, can you see the problem with a business that exclusively gives? Oh shit, my internet just cut for a second. The storm is getting really bad here, so if I disappear, I apologize. But can you think of a problem with exclusively giving money to people based on their race and gender?
Yeah, it violates the Civil Rights Act.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it's
and today the Court of Appeals came out and went, yeah, this is racist. You can't do this shit. And Wendell was trying to bring attention to that, you see.
What?
He's
what?
He's trying to prove that racism is still a thing because the courts are saying being racist is wrong.
Yeah, racism is still a thing. The appeals court just said so.
This is the kind of thing that shouldn't happen. If it was a venture capital firm that proudly stated, hey, we only give to white guys, nobody would look at it and go, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Everybody go, that's kind of racist. Because it would be racist, yeah. All right. Democrats, liberals, retards, I need you. Lend me your ear. I need to make that a thing.
They'll rip
Democrats,
that off.
liberals,
like,
retards.
Yeah.
Lend me your ear. If you're basing it on race, you ready? It's racist. Why do you need to be told this?
Because it's power plus privilege means that I'm not a bigot, you are.
Wendell's a black woman. No, Wendell is a black man, but he wanted to bring attention to this, you see.
Yeah, it was nice of him to tell everybody how racist this was.
Right. How dare we not have racism? That's literally your argument. How dare we not have racism? How are people this dumb, Jack?
I don't know. Training.
All right. I'm actually afraid to even try this next part, but we got to, because we got to get onto the topic of the FBI here because
of the wonderful things they does.
Yes, exactly.
What?
Andrew McCabe was on with the chick with the mouth that doesn't open all the way. I forget her name.
Joy Reid.
But Andrew McCabe is up. No, that's MSNBC. This is CNN.
Yeah, I know.
Trump is going to get his enemies, and it's amazing that they never talk about it within the context of him saying his enemies are doing illegal things. He's not just like, hey, Joe Bob McGee doesn't like me, I'm going to lock that motherfucker up. He's like, these people are abusing the law, which, by the way, is illegal. And because of that, we're going to go after them. And they're like, Trump says he's going after the people who are committing crimes. Anyway, so Andy here is here to talk about that with the chick who can't open her mouth all the way.
Have you here? Because I just few people.
Her. I don't remember her name. Isn't it Caitlin something?
I don't know. Something's...
How come around this age so many people name their kid Caitlin?
It was a popular name for a little while, just like Madison and what was the other one that was real big at that time? I don't remember. There's 3 or 4 names that always get big, and then you're like, why'd you name your kid that 10 years later?
I Caitlins have always existed, but when we were little, when we were younger, we just called them Kate.
Yeah, but Kate could also be short for like Catherine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Remember when we were in our 20s, like Jennifer was the name that you ran into all the time.
Oh, I grew up with a lot of Jennifers.
Yeah, so it comes in cycles and waves. I'm waiting for Mildred to make a comeback.
Mildred won't make a comeback because nobody can beat off to that name.
You don't know that. There's some pervert out there that'll be real happy to jerk it to a Millie.
Hey, Camel says Caitlin Collins. Hey, I was right about the first name. Mouth. It looks like she only opens the middle of it, and it drives me insane.
Why does Caitlin Collins sounds like she writes shitty romance novels?
Because you're thinking of Joan. Wasn't she a writer? No,
Joan Collins is an actress. Yeah,
who was the Jackie Collins? Jackie Collins.
Oh, Jackie Collins. Yeah, that's probably who I'm thinking of. Real quick though, thank you, Frosted Glass. If you're gonna racially discriminate, at least be subtle about it. For example, I'll be friends with anyone as long as you know your dad's name and location of the DMV.
There was a great story today, and I almost tweeted out a joke that I thought was funny. It's about a black guy who got arrested here in Michigan for driving on a suspended license. And then it turns out not only was he not driving on a suspended license, he literally never had one anywhere. And all I could think is, hey, they found the one black guy who can't find the DMV.
Did you watch that video link I sent you a while back?
Which one? Oh, no, I didn't. That case, right?
No, there was a guy, he was zooming into court, and he's driving while doing it. And then he's like, hold on, let me pull over. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that was so funny. I watch that judge all the time. He's on YouTube a lot. Cedric Simpson, I think his name is. But yeah, that guy, he was driving while he was testifying in court for driving on a suspended license.
Yeah, and it turns out he didn't have a suspended license. He actually never had a license.
Which
in any of the 50 states.
Yeah, what a dumbass. You're literally videoing yourself committing the crime that you're supposed to be the charge you're fighting. It's just it's so incredibly stupid.
Snubber, thank you. Asian porn star named Mildred Dunnock. Anything is possible. I'm sticking with my story that you do not beat off to the name Mildred. Because it makes you think of an old lady.
Mike just said there was a hot Mildred he knew. So I'm going to look this chick up real quick, see if she's hot.
Who, Mildred or Mildred?
Dunnock.
There's no C. It's not Duncock. It should be. She's a porn star. Come on. Your name is Dunnock and you don't put a C in there.
Oh,
that's just bad planning.
Is this Asian chick?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it. I'm not doing research right now.
I would do it while you're screen sharing, because immediately it's like vag and a-hole. So, but if that's her, she's kind of cute.
You looked up a porn star and it showed vag? I'm shocked.
I know. It's it's shocking what I find on the internet.
I was expecting it to be a picture of her teaching Sunday school.
You would think so, but usually they get frowned upon for that. Nobody wants them telling them about the Lord, apparently.
Anyway, let's get back to this douchebag here and the small mouth lady.
It's great to have you here because I just few people know.
Although I will say, okay, if my daughter's listening, stop right now. I'm just going to give you a second to turn it off for a second. I do wonder if with her tight lip control, if her blowjobs are like amazing.
They're either amazing or they're terrible. And she's probably trying to hide some like jacked up teeth or something that are going to act like craggy rocks on your underside of your wang. That chick's a penis shipwreck mouth. I guarantee it.
It's like a vacuum sealer. I really should let her actually talk. We haven't, this has been on the screen for like 5 minutes and all I've done is talk about her fucking mouth. Sorry, guys. I'll be more serious. No, I won't.
The inner workings of the FBI better than you do. And you've also personally...
Nobody knows the inner workings of the FBI better than Andrew McCabe. Nobody? Like not even the director? Okay, whatever. I know you're sucking up to him because you're CNN and he's seen as somebody who doesn't like Trump, so you gotta...
It's just sad.
Gotta follow
the... also take over the Justice Department. I wonder how you worry about what that would look like.
What? Oh, okay. What a leading question. Not, I wonder what you think about it. I wonder how you worry about it.
Well, there's a couple ways you can worry. There's the pensive stare into space as you contemplate the unimaginable horrors of the universe. There's panic, of course. There's the generalized freaking out like you do in a waiting room. Yeah, there's different ways. So I guess she is asking for some illustrative response physically from him. So that's just poorly worded unless she's trying to be descriptive.
She worded it exactly how she meant. Look, you know the FBI better than anybody. How does this make you worry? Devil Fruit says that the guy without the license, there was some misfile that happened. Fair enough. It's funnier if it's not, though. Anyhow,
still shouldn't have been driving while he's on trial for driving without a license.
No, I got one since you guys hit me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I didn't think of that. The look on his face of like where he put two and two together, that was just embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, have you ever seen the video of the guy who they have to stop the Zoom meeting because he's smoking marijuana on screen? He rolls a blunt on screen.
Yeah. I don't think people understand how cameras work.
And yeah, there was no question about what he was doing. He wasn't just rolling a cigarette like I do. He was rolling it's not even a doobie, man. This is a blunt. This is a big ass joint.
Oh, it was huge, yeah.
He was getting Snoop high. Anyway, he's a grown ass man who was at least number 2. Did he ever make it to number 1 at the FBI? Wasn't McCabe only number 2?
I don't know. I think he was only number 2. He might have been like interim. I think it says under his name when he talks.
Oh, okay. But anyway, he's a grown ass man in charge of the FBI. Why are you worried about this? Oh, is it because you guys know how the law works?
Okay. That chick's like.
Oh yeah, he was director for. Oh shit.
You ducked.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
I know, but the thing's not on the screen anymore, and
it
still should be.
I can see it.
Oh, this is going to be a pain in the ass. All right, you know what? Fuck it. We're not going to be able to watch the video tonight.
Could you? There's got to be a way to play the audio.
What we'll just do is he goes on to tell us.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so He says the FBI agents are worried. They're scared. They're scared of Trump. Maybe he knows that the feds have been doing illegal stuff. Yeah. He thinks they're all perfect angels, and they're worried they're going to get thrown in jail by a vindictive Trump who's going to come out to get them. Whoa, scary bad man Trump. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh, never mind. They broke a lot of laws because they don't ever get punished for that shit. So it's okay for them. Traitors should be running scared. They don't think they're traitors, though. They're defending democracy, which means communism to them. But they honestly seem to believe that they have to stop Trump because he's going to be the end of democracy forever. It's really pathetic. Monkey's internet is fucked harder than my wife. I think Monkey's internet is fucked harder than Raketa's wife. We might have to prosecute our own team. Yeah, well, don't commit crime and don't go after a president for nonsense stuff that's really not crimes that you have to twist to become a crime. Sad. They should be nervous about that. The Crossfire Hurricane people are worried, right? Yeah, I'm shocked too. That's Trump not being told the crime he's guilty of, not a violation of constitutional rights. It is a violation on several levels, but they don't care. It's about getting their opposition. They care more about the end goal of getting him than they do about the corruption of the process or anything that might be further ramifications from it. Hi, Mr. Monk. How are you?
Did you miss me?
Yes, I did.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of show tonight. Luckily, I'm in a really good mood, so I'm just going to laugh at it. Hopefully, you guys laugh along. Hey, all I was saying was that they're really worried that Trump is going to treat them like they treat Trump. Yeah.
And God knows how many other citizens are doing this too.
Mm-hmm.
So why should they be held to a different standard? Because the bureaucracy thinks that they're immune. And it's really sad.
We had a little bit of
that they're that arrogant.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an exchange on this on Twitter. And here's the thing. Our legal system, honestly, guys, you probably commit crimes all the time that you don't realize are a crime. Or something that could be construed as a crime if Alvin Bragg or Jack Smith come to your town.
Yeah, they're going to bend it till it breaks. And find a way to prosecute you for something. And you'll end up doing jail time if they want.
For example, they just got Donald Trump on filing false paperwork in New York. Jack, I don't know if you've been paying attention. We haven't really talked about it, but the Hunter Biden trial's going on.
Yeah, it just started. They got jurors now,
and the first testimony has come out. Now, Hunter Biden is on trial specifically for filing a false document with the government in response to the questionnaire you got to fill out when you buy a gun.
Mm-hmm.
One of the charges is having that gun for 11 days. The fact that he's not charged for illegally disposing of the weapon is amazing to me.
Yeah, but this is the same prosecutor that offered him that immunity deal that was unheard of.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even want to really prosecute this case.
Well, that story, before we get into the actual case here, if you look at what happened with that story, where the entirety of the U.S. media comes out, except for the New York Post, and goes, this is all fake. If we use the same Alvin Bragg logic, that this it becomes an in-kind campaign contribution, because all of these people were being paid, so money was spent on this, to push a lie that was a known lie. Joe Biden should be getting charged in a New York court by Alvin Bragg right now.
Yeah.
The very same stretch that you have to make to believe Trump is guilty is true of Joe Biden here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would also be a federal crime because he was using federal money to pay them instead of his campaign money.
And Joe Biden went on national television in the second debate and denied that it was real. He called it a lie.
We have confirmation now that it not only was Hunter's actual laptop, but it was not manipulated because all this stuff was backed up in the cloud.
Yep. But they're like, no, it's they manipulated. And if you guys remember, the manipulation they talk about with it was just people going, okay, we're going to make a folder of all of Hunter's naked pictures. And we're going to make a folder of all of Hunter's emails. That was the manipulation of the drive.
Yeah, that's fucking dumb.
Yeah, they just made folders for the stuff that was already on the drive. Anyhow, Hunter Biden on October 12th of 2018 went out there and bought himself a 38 handgun, a 38 revolver, Jack. And when he did this, he checked off the little box certifying that he did not take marijuana, oppressive drug, that he wasn't an addict, or take any other illicit drug, meaning illegal drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So he said no. I'm really hoping video works for this because Megyn Kelly's going to do our job for us. Plus, that means we get to put Megyn on the screen.
Yeah.
She's going to tell us. Remember, this is either the 11th or 12th of October. The very next day.
Here we go. 10/13. This is
10/13 being October 13th. So it was the 12th. The very next day after he signs that paper and gets his $900 38, he sends these texts.
the day after he purchased the gun. He's texting back and forth with Hallie Biden.
Hallie Biden being Bo's widow that he was fucking at the time.
Yep.
And his dead brother's widow. These two by now are having an affair.
I still maintain that shit started before Bo died.
Oh, yeah, you know it did.
Seems to be pretty clear with her that he is buying drugs. He's trying to find her. She's sending nice, supportive messages to him, and he seems obsessed with something else. Fast forwarding.
Can I just say
Okay.
I really like her top?
Let's see.
It shows just enough skin without being slutty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. 10/13,
did I dip again?
2018. She's
Yeah, we're
saying,
good.
why won't you answer my calls? Where are you? Are you with someone?
Ah, son of a bitch.
What?
All right, we can't watch it. I'll just drop the link to people.
No, it was
My
fine.
internet's
There was
being
just
a
a long
douchebag
pause
tonight.
in there.
Didn't you say we were gonna have to go back?
No.
Oh,
No, I said I thought you were gone for a second, but it was just a pause
okay.
in her talking. Monkey. Now we're
we're not
dead.
gonna be able to do the video if we.
Ah,
If we can't even talk. I'll just throw this in here. Basically, I mean, in the dealer. Out this
What?
thing saying, no, I don't do illicit drugs. They have
What?
there's no question. They brought up the guy today who sold him the gun, and he's like, I helped him pick it out, but everything he signed on there, he did himself. And so we know it was him. We know he did it. And then we have the text messages from his fucking phone where he's talking about how there's one moment where he actually is being pissy to Haley, to Bo's widow, because she won't help him get into rehab. He
that dude
he
don't
says
wanna go
this
to rehab.
he says this the day after he signs this thing saying, I'm not an addict. His claim is going to be that, hey, I wasn't an addict at the time. Seriously, that's their defense is no, he wasn't actually using at that time. Like, well, then why is he yelling at her?
Yeah, the way it was worded, it was he wasn't snorting lines off the countertop at the gun store.
Yeah, he had stopped using since he last used it 10 hours ago. I mean, it's a ridiculous defense. He's guilty. He perjured himself.
Yeah.
It says on the form that you are signing this under the penalty of perjury. And then there's just, violating the gun laws that it's related to itself. I don't think Hunter Biden's going to jail for this. I really don't.
No, and even if he did, if Biden loses the election, he'll get a pardon. Probably if Biden doesn't lose the election, he'll get a pardon. It'll go away eventually either way. He'll get a little slap on the wrist and then his record will be expunged.
He'll get probation. He'll get a year of probation, maybe a month in a county, Jack, just so they can say, hey, we got him. We weren't being preferential to the president's kid.
No, he'll get a diversionary program where he has to go do like some community service and sit in 2 lectures for 4 hours each, and that'll be it. And he'll bitch about how hard it was. I don't think he's going to do a day in jail.
There's another story that came out today about old Hunter. The good folks there in Congress. Fuck, everything else I was going to do tonight, it requires video. It's going to be a short show.
Short.
I'm tall, man. I'm 6 foot tall.
Short.
The Hunter Biden went up to the Hill and gave off camera testimony about his business dealings with his daddy and his uncle.
Mm-hmm.
And in it, he's asked if he was the secretary there at Rosemont Seneca. And he goes, I've never even heard of that position. Well, it turns out not only had he heard it, Jack, he once signed a statement affirming that he was the secretary at Rosemont Seneca.
Wow. Smart move there, dum-dum.
The story, which again, I'm sorry, guys. Anytime I try to bring up anything, the connection just goes to shit. I apologize. But the story about it tells us they didn't even have that paper when they were questioning him. Like, that matters.
Yeah, if he lied, he lied.
Yeah.
You can find out a lie later. I don't know. It's not like you're safe once 24 hours passes.
This man lied to Congress. It is irrefutable that he lied to Congress. His best argument there would be, I was too high when I signed that affirmation to remember doing it.
No, he knows he's above the law, so he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He knows there's no consequence. He's protected. The alphabet agencies run interference for him all the time. He's been getting that treatment his entire life. So why would he think that it matters?
Well, that's the issue here, is that he will get away with it because this was referred to the Justice Department for lying to Congress.
Yeah.
You think that little shit Garland is going to do anything about this?
Nope. Garland is all in for protecting the Democrats.
Oh, God. Did you see his testimony yesterday?
Yeah, and it was enraging.
Oh.
That smug motherfucker. Real quick, though. Thank you, Frosted Glass. What Stripes of Valor said just made me think of something. At the debate, as soon as Biden brings up Trump's conviction, Trump should say, because I'm the only one on stage competent enough to stand trial.
Yeah.
It'd be 2024 because you'd be in jail. You're not wrong, dude.
I guarantee you Trump will. Because Trump will make a big point out of the fact that, hey, the only reason you didn't get tried is because you're too retarded to do so.
Yeah. That'd be accurate, too.
It's Donald Trump. The two-tiered system of justice. There's actually several tiers that we call it two-tier. There's a lot more than that. I mean, you have your celebrities who get off because they're celebrities, rich people who get off because they're rich, the connected who get off because they're connected. You and me, Jack, we have a whole different legal system than those folks.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're going to be able to destroy our lives, whereas somebody that's rich and powerful can hire better attorneys, and since they have status, they're looked at differently. They're treated with kid gloves by the police departments usually, and of course by the prosecutors and the judges. So it's all an application of the law and the punishment. Sometimes they go after a famous person just to do an example, but the famous people rarely ever suffer anywhere near the consequences one of us would.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget, Hunter Biden is still getting off with a whole bunch of tax fraud you and I would have already been in prison for.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'd be serving that sentence out a long time ago because he's protected by all these other people. And he's got an entourage of lawyers. So
it's funny you should mention that, because as I was doing research for tonight's stream, came across an article we missed from about 2 weeks ago, Jack.
Oh, yeah?
You know that creepy Henry Winkler looking motherfucker that has been funding Biden?
Yeah, the CIA asset.
Yeah, it turns out he's running out of money to be sugar daddying.
Oh.
And it was a Politico article. And it's the guy who's funding him, this is becoming a problem because he's running out of money, according to a source who asked to remain anonymous, which I know what you're thinking. But they then reached out to the guy. I forget his name, and I closed the article when I was closing other things on accident. Sorry. They reached out to him, and he confirmed that, yes, that's true, but he refused to elaborate.
Well, Hunter Biden's probably bleeding him dry.
Millions and millions of dollars,
because the guy's a shiftless sponge. Yeah, the guy's a sponge. And he's got his own money, so it's not like Hunter Biden's broke. And he owes like a couple million for child support?
He's gonna find out real quick what being poor is like if he doesn't. His dad's not long for this world, and his dad doesn't have the nest egg for the lifestyle that he wants to live.
Yeah.
He's gonna Avenatti this shit. I do think it's funny because it says in that Politico article from the people that they were, letting be anonymous, that Sugar Daddy thought with him stepping up that other people would too.
Of course he did.
Yeah, everybody, even Joe Biden knows Hunter is a douchebag. Now, Jack, we got to get to the biggest story of the week. The Wall Street Journal put out a story yesterday, I think it was, that people are saying behind the scenes, Joe Biden is showing signs of cognitive decline.
No. What? Hold on. I got to find some shock for that one. I got some shocked pants around here somewhere.
I know. It was a fucking bombshell. The dude who gets lost on his own lawn with the mansion in the background of the videos that he's lost in. The one time literally on the steps of the house. Yeah, he's showing cognitive decline. Weird.
Can you imagine that? Because I can't. Oh, that's so unbelievable. Oh my God.
And there's a bunch of lefties who are pissed off about it. Like, how dare they say this? We can see it.
We've been seeing it since the election.
Yeah. We've been seeing this shit since 2019. When he announces, we see it. We see him in the middle of the debate as he's giving an answer, just whatever.
Yeah, it sort of loses his train of thought and just shrugs it off like, oh, whatever.
Whatever. I'm just trying to be The real scandal there is that the press has been covering for his cognitive decline for the last fucking 5 years.
Oh, at least.
But everybody's treating it like they just heard about the possibility of Joe being in mental decline.
Yeah, like this is breaking news.
You mean the guy who was trying to shake hands with dead people? Sorry, not even dead people. They weren't even there. With invisible people.
Yeah.
He was
invisible
looking
people
for the dead
and
person.
On occasion dead people, to be fair.
He was looking for the dead person. Where's John at? I forget the guy's name. He died last year, Joe. You went to his funeral. Actually, I don't think he went to his funeral.
Well, he probably thinks he did.
He probably,
It's a
I
civil
was
rights
there.
funeral.
We've shown so many examples of this guy's cognitive decline, and for everybody to be treating it like it's a brand new thing. Doesn't that just say everything about the power of the press?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
oh my God, I didn't realize he was that bad until all those examples I've seen, I didn't believe those. But when anonymous sources tell me behind the scenes he's like that.
This fits into my theory that they're going to replace him.
They're desperate to replace him.
Yeah, because they've seen the polling. They've seen all their issues are failing. Trump is catching up to him in New York, which is pretty shocking. And they've got nothing else to run on other than like abortion. So what are they going to do? They're going to switch him out at the conference. They're going to wait till then because then they can spring it on Trump with less than 2 months to go before the actual election. So he can't do oppositional research and his ads are already kind of locked in. So they're going to switch Biden out for like Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or whoever their hideous little cabal is coming up with. And it's not going to be Harris, but they're going to swap out Joe for that and use like mental decline or family problems or whatever the excuse is for him to bow out gracefully or just be replaced and thrown to the wolves.
I hear you, but I think at this point, it's much like the 2020 election. Joe is their best candidate right now.
Oh, I agree, but that's said on so many levels.
It is,
but it is. That's why I think they're going to try and get Trump even harder, and in the Pinochet kind of way, or they're going to try something, and I don't like where it's going.
Yeah, it's going to get ugly. It really is, because Kamala's the heir apparent. So if Joe drops out, she's got the most votes right now as the VP.
Yeah, and she has all the appeal of a wet fart.
Excuse me. And somebody like Gavin Newsom will only push people further away. Democrats, you got to understand this. Your most progressive bullshit is still not accepted mainstream.
Yeah, but not only do most of them not seem to understand that, I don't think they really care. It's about winning, not likability for them. And if they have to run a stinker this time around, I don't think they have a choice. They've got to put somebody up, and they'll find somebody.
I think what they'll do is hold on to Biden as long as they can, hopefully through the election, because they do think Joe can beat Trump.
Yeah,
but if they were smart, they would have got rid of him months ago anyway.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I think they've overplayed their hands so much they've underestimated where they're at in the game, and they think they're winning when they're really not. But yeah, I think it's going to get messy, and I really hope Trump has good security.
There's still Cenk Uygur. I can't say that with a straight face. Yeah. Speaking of Cenk, see, this is another one I wanted to show the video of. So on TYT, Jack, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur, they're talking about this actress. I forget her name, and I don't really care. But she makes some statement to the effect of she realizes she's privileged, but she's okay with it.
Yeah.
And Cenk and Anna start having this conversation where Cenk goes, I can point to somebody who used to work here who has that kind of self-awareness. And Anna breaks out, well, I know you're not talking about your nephew because he's the most least self-aware person ever. She's
not wrong, and that was funny as shit.
I laughed, and Cenk's face, his eyes go all wide. For those of you who don't know, Hassan Piker is Cenk Uygur's nephew, and that's who she was talking about. That was funny as fuck. Go Anna. Look, she is still a lefty dumbass, but I have a feeling that husband of hers is a little more right-wing than most of the people she hangs out with.
Yeah, she's had a few come to Jesus moments.
She has. We have the Keffel's apology for spreading that shit. We have her pushing back against the trans ideology. bullshit.
Don't forget that she actually did watch the Rittenhouse video.
Yes, where she's like, "Yep, you guys are right. I was fucked up. He didn't shoot everybody willy-nilly, like I said,
And they weren't black.
and they weren't black." I do have hope for her. I can never be a fan, largely because I find her annoying as shit.
Yeah,
But
at least she's coming around a little bit.
Shank said he wants to run for president. No. He actually filed to run for president.
He can't, but
He can't though because he's not a natural born citizen.
And I'm glad he can't because he's a fucking idiot.
Yep. Voice of the Walls, thank you so much for becoming a member for month number 9.
Woo.
Good to see you back, Monk. I hope you're not in too much pain. I'm actually pretty decent today. Every morning at about 8 o'clock, my whole body just starts hurting and it lasts for several hours. And then it just goes right back into my shoulders. So I'm not going to complain about that. She's better than you. I know, right? I've really been enjoying watching Megyn Kelly lately.
Oh, yeah.
Megyn Kelly actually did my little Valley Girl voice yesterday. And every so often she lets a swear word slip, and every time she does, I get a little chub.
Yeah, it's kind of hot.
Like, talk dirty to me, baby. Oh, I could never be like that with Anna, though. I'd be like, oh, you smell like chank.
Why do you smell like a water buffalo?
Nuts, thank you so much, sweetie, for becoming a member for month number 11. Thank you, sweetie. Oh, Jack, I really do wish we could use video tonight because there's so many great things. So hopefully tomorrow everything's fixed weather-wise here.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because there's so much more. We can still talk. Pinched nerve? No. I have a damaged spinal cord.
Monkey's a cripple.
I'm a cripple. He filed for president to be ultra socialist, very far left. Speaking of that, did you see who the Libertarians are putting up for president?
Yeah. Oh my
Jesus.
God. What a fucking horrible choice. Libertarians are their own worst enemies.
Well, these idiots look, there was a takeover in the Libertarian Party. Somebody asked on Twitter the other day, why is there even a Libertarian Party? And the honest answer is it used to be about legalizing pot and prostitution.
Yeah.
They would occasionally talk about taxes too, but mostly it was people like, we need to smoke dope and bang hoes.
Yeah, because that's what most potheads talk about.
Yeah. Frosted, thank you so much. Anna got tired of putting up. Sorry. Fuck. Frosted, why do you do this to me live?
This is funny.
Anna got tired of putting on the horse costume.
Especially with the fake dildo.
Well, yeah. It's okay if it's for their pleasure. Shit, that just made me lose the train of thought I had. What were we talking about?
I don't know. Why would I know?
Libertarians.
Yeah.
The Libertarians. So when Bernie Sanders crashes and burns in 2016, a whole bunch of Bernie supporters went, I know, we can be libertarians. Which I'm not saying they couldn't be, but those two ideologies don't go together at all.
No, because Bernie's a commie.
Yeah, and the core of libertarianism, in all seriousness, is as limited government as possible. It's not anarchy, which is what a lot of these fucking retards thought. It is not about anarchy. It is about severely limited government. And so a whole bunch of these fucking Bernie Antifa shitbags, these anarcho-communists are like, we're going to go be libertarians. And then they put up Joanna, and now I forgot this new guy's name. This new guy could run as a Democrat and win in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, at Portland.
He is a full-on liberal, a Berkeley liberal, and the people in the Libertarian Party who used to be basically, let's say what it is, freedom, are like, control me, daddy government, please.
Yeah. Let me lick your boots, Big Daddy. Oh, please, just a little more licking. Ugh.
A small of government to run things and no more than that. Exactly. Because
what they used to call the Night Watch state.
Yeah, what they want is a return to the Constitution, where the original Constitution minus the slavery, where you have no income tax, no standing army. You're not paying the government for land you already own on a yearly fucking basis that they can then come take it away from you.
Yeah.
I joke about the pot and the prostitution, which, by the way, were really big platforms for them. But their other major platform was taxation.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Keldrick. Monkey's a Crip. Hashtag gang life.
Gang life.
Do you have thug life tattooed on your stomach in Old English because it needed that?
I should do that. I would look hot. I'd look like a thug Teletubby, man.
Well, that's an image that'll haunt me later.
A government big enough to give you everything you want is big enough to take everything you have. Goldwater. Yeah,
he was right.
A lot of libertarian principles are associated with the Goldwater era. And the biggest presidential election that the libertarians ever had was the 1980, where they get like 10% of the vote. And a lot of that was Goldwater Republicans who weren't voting for Reagan.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Chase Oliver, thank you, Pyrus. That's his name, Chase Oliver. You guys should look that dude up. He is just dyed in the wool lefty, pretending to be a libertarian. It's fucking insane.
Well, yeah, all his like gay rights stuff was being posted, and the dude is just a straight up lefty commie. I don't know why they're putting that guy up.
Because they're not very smart people. This is why I'm not a libertarian. If you're looking at what party I most closely identify with, it is the libertarians.
But they tend to vote stupid, and well, I don't know.
The reason that I went away from them is actually the exact opposite problem that they're having now. And maybe those guys were right. Where if you suggested any kind of compromise, like instead of, hey, we need to get rid of the income tax, how about, hey, we take it down to 15%, then 10, then 5, and then down to 0 to show people, hey, we can still run everything without this shit. And they're like, no, it's all or nothing.
Yeah, that is a massive problem with them, is their ideology is so strict that they cannot compromise in any respect. And that's not how any of this works.
And now they've gone with nothing, because if you look, I mean, Joanne, what's her last name? The one who ran in 2020. She was out there tweeting out hashtag Black Lives Matter and backing Biden, basically.
Yeah, they're not serious people.
But yeah, they're not serious. They become just such a joke of a party. It's ridiculous.
And it's pathetic, because they could do better if they would get better messaging and be consistent. And they can't do that because it's a mash of so many different groups that just sort of have a general interest in working together.
And the sorry, I was looking for something on my timeline. They have none of their core values anymore. Small government is out the window as soon as you start bringing in liberals, because liberals are big government.
Yep.
Government's here to save you. Yeah. And so anyway, the story that I wanted to tell. Oh God, I forgot about this.
Real quick. Thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. The one thing I disagree with most libertarians on is the need for a national standing army. It's just the nature of our time. Now, intervention with that army is a different story. Yeah, we should have an army just for defense, but whether you want to go intervene in everything, that's a whole different discussion.
I understand. Who was it? The redheaded libertarian that gave that you tweeted out that video today where she's giving the history lesson of the Boston Massacre.
Yeah.
I understand why, especially at the time, the founders were against the idea of a standing army.
Yeah.
I do think, especially in the modern world, you just can't go on militia alone.
No, you'd be invaded in a second, and they'd win because they're organized and have better equipment.
Yep. So there's definitely the need for it, but it was part of the platform. And in fairness to libertarians, most of them these days don't talk about getting rid of the standing army altogether. It is just non-interventionalism.
Yeah, and that's a far better policy to fit the modern day because, unfortunately, times have changed drastically in several regards.
Yeah.
So we do need some sort of standing military, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's libertarians. There was so much potential there.
Yeah.
Did you know that anyone with ovaries, regardless of gender identity, can be at risk for ovarian cancer?
What? Anyone with ovaries, even if they're a male?
I'm not disagreeing with that notion because the way they write it is true. Anyone with ovaries, regardless of gender identity.
You mean women?
Women, yes. Any biological woman can get ovarian cancer, except for those who don't have ovaries.
Yeah, if you've been scooped out, but
yeah.
Or
if you were born without, some women are.
Yeah, I mean that's a biological malformation, not anything you did, but the way they worded that makes it sound like dudes can get it.
Yes, and there were a lot of people who were arguing, no, look, these people can get it because they're women or they're men, and men can get. No, you can't. Men cannot get ovarian cancer. It doesn't happen. Stop it.
Fucking dumb. Stop.
Oh, you know what? That was not a tweet. That was a response. So I have to spell it out. The other day, I forget the guy's name. He posted out a picture of the trans flag thing, the gay flag.
Yeah.
With tread marks on it. And Brian Krasenstein,
of course,
pops up with, imagine hating oppressed, not oppressed, what's marginalized, that's the word he used. Marginalized people enough to think that this is okay.
They don't hate marginalized people. They think it's stupid you're painting rainbows on the ground, on the road, and then you're upset people are driving on it. You fucking idiot.
I responded to that stupid shit saying, it's not about disliking. It's not about disliking marginalized people. Even gay people don't like this activism shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the entire premise for Gays Against Groomers.
To which he
stupid and detrimental.
To which he responded. And of all of the shit I've posted lately, this is the one that has popped off the most, with my mentions being fucking unreadable. He responded, if I posted a picture of an effigy of Jesus with tread marks on it, would you say the same thing? That is all. I don't have it in front of me, but that is pretty much the quote.
Am I allowed to say I don't care? I mean, you do you, retard. I mean, Piss Christ has been around since the 80s.
Yeah. If somebody painted a picture of Jesus on the street and people ran their treads over it and spun their tires, nobody's going to jail for that, for a hate crime.
No, and everybody be like, what'd you expect? You put it on the ground on a roadway.
But it is amazing because almost everybody caught this. Brian was just comparing LGBT activism with religion.
Well, he's not wrong on that one.
He's not, but you're not supposed to say that part out loud, Jack.
Yeah, you said the quiet part out loud, but it basically is a secular religion because it's communism. Let's be honest.
It is. Now, our friend Mike Harlow, I've really got to get Mike back on the show and go do his. Yeah. We just got to get the timing together.
Oh, that very long stream he did about that stupid In Shadows retard.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
Oh, Mike is fucking hilarious, man. I love him.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, I recommend it. I tweeted it out. I think I still have. I didn't finish the last couple minutes of it. So
him and another gay man that I'm not familiar with, they did a show tonight on Mike's channel on his microaggressed. I love that that's what he went with his title of his stream. But they weren't even shy about what they were going to be talking about. They were tweeting out, hey, come watch us be transphobes. Which, fuck, dude, I love me some gay men sometimes because they don't give a fuck. Because they get
You
away
guys
with
heard it
shit
here
we
first.
can't. They get away with shit you and I can't get away
Oh,
with, Jack.
yeah. I mean, that's a pretty low bar these days because
It
we're
is.
straight white men. So, well, you're a lesbian, but
I
that's,
am. I'm a trans lesbian. But they had a show tonight, and I reached out to Brian. I'm like, hey, you should go talk to these guys and tell them how much they hate marginalized people. He didn't respond.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
He doesn't get any engagement farming doing that.
It is still blowing up, Jack. For 2 days now, my mentions have been unreadable because of people responding to this shit.
Yeah.
Not responding to me, responding to what that retard said. But
Well,
again, this is the guy who last year, almost 1 year ago today, it was at the end of this month, where he tweeted out, in response to grown men having their genitals in the faces of children in the middle of the fucking street, it probably wouldn't have any impact on kids to see grown men naked in public. And then tried to say that it was libs of TikTok showing that video that was the real issue.
yeah. How dare you expose us?
Because 13-year-olds are on the girl in the video is like 4, but those 13-year-olds were going to be traumatized. The 4-year-old standing eye level at the balls of the guy riding around his bicycle in whatever fucking weird city that is. That's not, no. It's the kids on the internet seeing it on libs of TikTok's channel.
Well, I'm sure Brian is very worried about 13-year-olds talking and learning things.
Which Krasenstein is the cuck again? That would be Brian, the one we're talking about. Ed's the stupid one. And I know that's weird to say with those two idiots, but Ed's the dumb one and Brian is the ugly one. I'm already tired of Pride, Jack.
I know.
What are we on? Day 7? Day 6. Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I just got a whole extra day of Pride. Pride used to be a day.
Yeah, but they need a month now for all the genders, I guess.
It went day, then week, then month, then season. Because remember, guys, it is the season of Pride, and how dare you think otherwise?
Season of the Witch.
I don't get to do this very often, but I want to give a shout out to some of the teams in the NFL who flat refused to make a statement regarding Pride this year.
Good. They've figured out that their sales have been slipping on their merchandise.
Yeah, at least 11 teams last I saw, and maybe some of them have come out and made statements since, but 11 teams had not put out a statement about Pride, and it became a big thing. Oh my God, these football players didn't come out and tell us how much they like the gay sex like the FBI did. Yeah, we know that the FBI likes gay sex. They prefer it with children. But I don't give a shit about Pride when it comes to watching the NFL. I don't want any politics in there.
No, it's supposed to be a nonpartisan escapism.
What really sucks is I do like the Chargers Pride logo that they released because it doesn't actually look like Pride. It just looks like somebody did some fancy coloring around the bolt.
Oh.
Yeah, it actually looks really cool. I just don't want it for Pride because I don't. If somebody just did that as a logo kind of thing and like, look, I dressed it up and be like, that actually looks really cool. But instead, they're like, I dressed it up gay, and I'm like, I don't need the politics in my life. But yeah, the Steelers, the Broncos, the Chiefs, and some other teams were like, nah, bruh, not this year. Now, don't think that this means that there's not going to be any politics in the NFL. They'll still have their love over hate and racism is wrong crap all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying racism isn't wrong. I'm just saying I don't need that. I'm watching the NFL where more than half the people on the field are black. Do you think I have a problem with black people?
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. But they got to get the message out and everything. The message takes precedent.
It does. It really does. But yeah, I was glad to see that. And more companies need to do that and be like, you know what? You guys go be as proud as you want, but we don't care.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sell candy. Oh, wait. Skittles. How many? I noticed you did a white package. Is that to signify a white van? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, it's a panel van.
Pride is retarded. It is. It just is. I'm so proud I'm gay.
How insecure are you to have to rely on pride?
Yep. And especially in today's world where no matter what stupidity the activists come out with, we're supposed to embrace it. And you want to act like you have to go out there and stand. There's a time you can make the argument that there's a time that it was brave to go out there and go, look, I'm gay. We're here. We're queer. Get used to it. That ship sailed.
Yeah, about 1995.
They put big old pink sails on that thing and fucking shipped it off to sea. You're not oppressed as a gay person in America today. You're not oppressed as a trans person in America today. You're not oppressed as a black trans person in America today. You are the most protected class that the world has ever fucking known. The kings of England of yore. Louis the Sixth of France and Tsar Nicholas. These guys didn't know privilege like you do. You get whole fucking special things given to you because they got this bad thing that nobody's being mean to them. It's transphobic to question their identity. I'd do the same thing if they said they were anything that they weren't.
Yeah, you get in a fight with one, you're getting a hate crime charge. Doesn't matter if you were fighting with them for whatever reason, you're getting a charge.
If a trans person kills another trans person, they tell it the trans murder rate is horrible. Trans people are so oppressed upon. The transphobia that they have to work with. And we've actually seen that. Trans people killed by the folks that they are living with, where it's just a domestic. It has nothing to do with them being trans. Look at this trans murder rate. 87 people died last year. Do you know how many people die in the U.S. every year, Jack?
Quite a lot.
It's over 2 million. Last I saw it was getting close to 3 million. 87. Okay. Can any of you guys tell me how many white people died last year?
Nobody cares how many white people died.
No. Can anybody tell me how many black people died?
No. There's probably a few that could, but
can you tell me? You could look this stuff up, sure, but you're not going to find it in an article talking about how horrible it is that white people died. Now, you'll find it with black people if the police were at all involved, but just general statistics? Nope. You are the most protected class, acting like Moses just came to save you from the Arabs. Sorry, are we allowed to call Egyptians Arabs?
They're technically different, I think.
Oh, okay. The North Africans. How about that?
Oh, there you go.
Dangerous Spaces, thank you. I just want to point out that every team already wears colors that represent and should unite every fan, regardless of race, sexuality, religion, creed, etc. It's the bloody team colors. Indeed. Indeed. Sports unites people in a way that nothing else does. And we see this with black and white. One of the best things that happened to race relations in America is Jackie Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
Jackie Robinson being brought into the MLB, Major League Baseball, guys, brought into the MLB, and some seriously racist motherfuckers being like, hey, if you talk shit about that Negro, we will fight.
Yeah.
That's our Negro. And not in the old Democrat way of our Negro. That's our guy.
Yeah, because he's on the team now.
He's on our team. And yeah, it's amazing how sports can do that because sports do unite. And I would even argue that in a way, we've talked before about how religion brought people together, right? As the community. Teams do that in sports.
Yeah.
There are people that I would have long conversations with about my Chargers that I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire. But when it comes time to support our Bolts as they lose, we're one. We are one team.
One team of losers.
So that's what they really need, is they need a highly effeminate gay man in the NFL for people to rally around. They need a trans woman in there for everybody to rally around so that trans don't have to be oppressed anymore.
So who's going to take one for the team?
What's going to be funny is when a trans woman enters the WNBA. That's going to be amazing.
That is. I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Well, now that Caitlin Clark has shown you can make money, because she's making bank. She's been in the league for like 3 weeks and she is making bank.
Yeah, like her pay scale isn't that good, but I'm sure she's getting money off of jerseys and stuff like that.
Well, she's getting what? Is it $2 million a year or something like? I forget. She's making millions in the WNBA. And she has her sneaker deals and all this other shit.
Yeah. That's where the real money is.
Yeah, you get some guy who was never able to actually play in the NBA, but was high-level college.
Yeah, some kind of Joanna man.
Yeah, I want to be rich too. I'll throw on a dress to not have to work for a living. Be able to just go in there and destroy that league. Because as good as you guys might think Caitlin Clark is, I don't know, probably nobody in our audience, but the folks out there who do, she's still a women's basketball player.
Yeah, their rules are a little bit pussier than NBA, right?
It's not even about the rules. It's just about the athleticism needed.
Yeah.
And that's not to say women can't play basketball. Women play basketball just fine, but they can't play at the level that the elite of the men do. I can't play at that, Jack.
Well, no.
Not even in my prime when I was actually pretty good at basketball. I used to play basketball a lot as a kid, Jack. And
I suck at basketball, but I could probably take a couple of these WNBA chicks.
This might make you go, really? That's weird. But when I lived in a black neighborhood, we pretty much only played basketball.
Wow, that's crazy. What?
Yeah, occasionally we break out the football, but basketball was just easier.
Yeah,
and we all played basketball.
Yeah,
and yes, I'm suggesting black people play basketball more than white people. It's just true at the time. I think it's probably changed a little bit since then, Jack.
Yeah.
I think pretty much everybody plays basketball these days, but it's still for some reason considered a black sport.
Well, it's mostly black players.
Well, it's also one that's really easy. Unlike, say, baseball or football, definitely hockey, basketball, all you need is the court and a ball.
Yeah. Yeah, like soccer.
You can play one-on-one. You ever tried playing one-on-one football?
No. I don't like getting bruised.
One-on-one baseball, I mean, very few others lend themselves to the ease. Maybe soccer would, but soccer's for, gay people and Europeans, but I repeat myself.
I was going to say that.
Sorry, soccer fans. There's very few sports that you can play with any group of people, a small group of people, or even by yourself like that. So it's especially for poor kids like I was, basketball is an easy sport to go to. And y'all might have missed this, but a lot of black people are poor. A lot of white people are too, but we can't jump, so we're like, yeah, I'm not going to play basketball. You don't have to jump to play basketball. Larry Bird proved that. Anyway, somebody asked who Caitlin Clark is. Caitlin Clark is a WNBA player who just came out of college, and it's really blown up. Her games, people have already started doing the statistics on this. Like last weekend in the WNBA, in games that she was not in, the average attendance is like 4,000. I think one of them got up to like maybe 7,000. The game she was in 2. And both of them, the attendance at the game was over 17,000.
I was shocked by the first number.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
who goes to the WNBA? They used to give those tickets away for free.
it's, I mean, a cheap thing to go do with your friends and stuff if you like basketball, I suppose.
I guess.
But she just came out of college. She signed with the team I don't really care about. I forget the name of the team she's on.
I didn't know they had names for their teams.
The only one I remember is the Chicago Sky because it's just the gayest mascot I've ever heard of. Our mascot's
the
WNBA.
Yeah, it's literally just blue.
Frosted, thank you. Speaking of Jackie Robinson, I want to make an Air Bud movie set in the 30s where there's no rule saying a dog can't play bit. Then a black guy shows up and they say, sorry, there is a rule against you. Wow.
Jesus.
He wouldn't be wrong, though. And thank you so much, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist $12. How dare you? Brittany Griner is the best dude in the WNBA. Fair enough. Yeah, nobody talks about Brittany now that she's back playing sports. They got her out of Russian jail, and then the white girl came along and stole all the thunder. Actually, a black girl came along first. Angel was the one last year, and then now with Caitlin. The WNBA was funded greatly by NBA players, just saying. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with them doing that, but it is not a sustainable business, and all of the people who whine that they're not paid the same draw the same audience. And right now, Caitlin Clark is your best chance at that.
The Charlotte, good for you trying, honeys.
Their names are just horrible, man. I hate that all of the mascot names have been so bitched.
Well,
that they have. Give me where are the WNBA Cougars? I would watch them.
Because it'll all be a joint pain and the field smells like Ben Gay.
Yeah, but they're trying.
Sex.
They're out there trying to hump all the guys. If you really want to make money in sports, you got to get the guys.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. But no, instead we get the guy.
Well, you can tell women name this stuff.
How the fuck do you even make that an avatar?
I don't know.
It's just a blue patch.
I guess. I mean, it would save some money.
It looks like a blue splooge stain on the woman's chest.
Well,
we're the sky.
A lot of the WNBA, I'm sure they're batting for the other team.
But yeah, anyway, stop trying to push Caitlin Clark away. She's making you guys money and you don't realize it. It's so stupid. It's just so much jealousy.
Well, I think part of it is they're not used to actually having success in that department, so they don't know what to do. Like, this has never happened before. We're making money? I don't understand. It's time to panic. Like, we're not trained for this. Like that scene in Demolition Man with Rob Schneider. You know, we're police. We don't know how to deal with murder.
Oh God, we gotta go back to the trans thing for a minute. I forgot about this one. Where was this at again? Hang on, I gotta open this up. The University of Nebraska Lincoln. They did a scientific study, Jack. I'm using that term very, very loosely.
No, I don't doubt that.
They were looking into, and I wish I was making this up, male periods. I am not talking about trans men who do still have periods because they're female. I'm talking about trans women. You know, people born with testicles. They spent money and time doing a study on something that can't exist. We we're not talking about, you know, the argument of religion. Well, we don't know if a God exists. No. We know without any doubt men cannot have periods. Even if you put on a dress and have somebody put a stinky hole in your crotch, the only thing that's going to leak out of it is pus. Okay.
Oh, sometimes poop.
Yeah. This is the science community, Jack.
Yeah.
Thank you, Keldrig. The Cougars versus the Vixens. Winners get to sleep with the college football team. Losers become crazy cat ladies. Now, losers, let's be honest, they sleep with themselves. Dangerous, thank you. There's a school not far from me whose team name is the Cougars. Needless to say, they are usually a lot of very disappointed dads showing up to support the kids. Fair.
Real quick, thank you, Chaos 1X. Instead of fog machines, it's just wine coolant flavored Bengay, misting it on the field so they don't dry out like prunes.
Yes.
I feel kind of sticky, but my joints don't hurt anymore.
Yeah, the name of this study, Jack, was The Bloodless Period, a Trans Feminine Experience.
Why does that sound like some bad performance art shit?
Because it is.
Oh.
I mean, if we're being honest, that is performance art. This goes back to that nonsense that we've seen of people on TikTok rolling around, grabbing their stomach, going, I'm having period cramps.
Yeah, because they ate Taco Bell or something.
Yeah, because they're fucking with their hormones and it made them gassy. One more time.
That's just like a period, dude.
You can't have period cramps without a uterus. That's where the cramping is.
No, what I have learned is that period cramping is just a backed up queef.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, ladies, all your attempts to explain period cramps to me, gone forever. Erased from my mind, because if men can have them too, it's got nothing to do with your uterus. It's clearly a queef.
I hate to go the feminist route here, but can women have anything of their own?
No.
They literally can't even have period cramps to themselves.
Anything they can have, the trans can have better.
The bloodless period. And they're not talking about somebody
penis kind of thing, isn't it?
They're not talking about somebody who has a really mild. No, they're literally talking about somebody who cannot have a period. A period is a euphemism for menstruation, which men physically can't do.
Listen to
this. You're a science denier. Thank you. That's how I'm going to start answering that when somebody calls me a science denier. I'm just going, thank you.
Well, to be fair, that's not science. That's just
this is science. Scientists worked on this.
No, just because scientists worked on it doesn't make it not science fiction.
It would. Hey, look, there's a lot of stuff that they look into in science that turns out not to be real. Typically, they don't start from there.
Yeah.
Typically, they don't start with, this is completely made up nonsense. Let's see if it's real.
It's sad how far we're regressing.
There's limited research exploring menstruation in transgender and gender diverse populations.
It's because it's unnecessary research.
And studies have primarily examined the relationship between menstruation and gender congruence. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
It means you're trying to assign it to a specific biology, I think is what they're trying to say. You keep trying to say that they're women.
Findings revealed menstruating, transgender diverse people, just as TGD, people experience distress related to decreased gender congruence, and 88% of TGD people expressed interest in menstruating suppression to manage the distress. Now that makes it sound like they're with trans dudes, women who claim to be trans. The problem is everybody in the study was a trans dude or trans woman. They were all men, biological men. They tried to get a whole bunch of other people in, but it turns out they were actually looking, and I'm not making this up, for black transgender women. And they just couldn't find enough of them. RuPaul's Drag Race had them all.
Apparently.
Why do they keep pretending like this is such a major thing?
Because it
I
gives
wonder
them funding.
Wait, Apex says, I wonder who's funding this. Ah ha ha, the people of Nebraska.
Yeah, taxpayers.
These are grants that are given by the state in most cases for this kind of research.
Yeah, there's a board of people that hand out the grants, and they're like, oh, you're so stunning and brave, yay. And then they get a big pile of money.
Yep.
Because you have to have proposals and stuff like that to get the research money. You have to fill out grant applications. So somebody is approving this bullshit. And
Let's
those are the
find
people
out.
You need to find out who they are.
I mean, they tell you from the beginning, bloodless period. You're not talking about biological women at that point.
Yeah.
You can screw up your hormones taking testosterone to where you end up not having a period. But that also stops the cramping from the period and, you know, the blood from the period and the expulsion of the expulsion of the egg, the sloughing of the lining, all of that stops.
Yeah.
And if they were doing that, Jack, going, hey, should we really be doing this to women, stopping their biological processes? That's something worth looking into.
Yeah, and the effects that that's having, because we can start to see long-term effects now if they'd started studying this early on. But unfortunately, that's not what this is. And I call it regression because we're effectively going and ignoring what we know to make up something to replace what we know because they don't like it. And it's sort of like the Catholics denying that the earth rotates around the sun, or the way that the German folk in the 30s were trying to rewrite history so that there was a master race.
The month is barely a week old, and we're going to end up talking about this a lot this month. I just know it.
I am glad to see some people not playing ball with this shit anymore, but they need a lot more financial disincentive.
You know, most people wouldn't give a shit if this wasn't being forced on people.
Yeah.
If it was just some dude walking around in a dress, most of us would be like, dude, I saw a dude in a dress today, and leave it at that.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be a side note in your day.
But instead, they're trying to, instead of just going with, I like to wear a dress, they're trying to convince us that it is scientifically sound to suggest somebody born a man can just turn into a woman.
And look at the effect it's having. There's less support for the gay marriage and various communities because of the way this is ham-fistedly being wedged on people. It's forced in your face all the time. You start getting annoyed with it.
And it's not just forced in your face. I mean, look at the trans flag thing where oh my God, they spun their tires on it. It's a hate crime.
Yeah, people are losing their livelihoods over stupid shit like this, and people start to get upset with that. It's amazing how that works.
How dare you not think a 3-year-old knows they're actually a girl?
Yeah, and I think that's the part that really gets people is you start messing with the kids. People don't like that very much.
Would you ever call Blair White a man, though? Blair White is a man.
Blair White is a man.
Blair White is a man.
Blair will even state that.
And Blair doesn't push this shit on other people.
Yeah,
Blair.
I'm perfectly happy to not give a shit because Blair's not annoying me.
Blair's not out there trying to get little kids to have their genitals cut off and stop their puberty.
Yeah,
and which I need to talk about that for a minute because this is a point we haven't actually addressed on the show. We already know puberty blockers for all their stuff. They're like, hey, it's completely reversible. No, it's not. And I can prove it because we can't go back in time. You can say that they still develop naturally, but you can't know that. You know why? Because you can't actually undo it. Your body, pretty much from when you're born, Jack, unless there's some outside influence on it, how it's going to develop is predetermined. And when you interrupt that in any way, you can't uninterrupt it.
Yeah.
Now, what you could say is it doesn't have detrimental effects, which is not true because we already know about the bone loss issues.
Yeah, osteoporosis is a huge issue with it.
Yeah, in your 20s. Good job. But this nonsense that this doesn't hurt them, that it's reversible. You don't know that. You don't know what you just did to them.
That is unscientific.
I know, right? What is scientific is men having periods.
Live in a strange timeline.
Blair's fighting against the queer kid movement. Yeah. And I don't even care about that part of it. I don't care who it is fighting against this nonsense. And I wouldn't care about Blair being trans if she was out there. Remember when she tried to drop the political stuff and then nobody cared about her, so she went back to it?
Yeah.
If she was doing the non-politicals, I wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't care.
To me, what's important is the politics of it, because this is changing the laws around the country.
Yeah, and you have to be honest with yourself about what you are and what you're going through. If you're not, that's delusional, and that's very unhealthy.
And they're pushing they're altering science.
Yeah, and they're pushing it on kids with altered science. That's dangerous.
Yeah, and it's exactly what they're doing. And you'll have these people come out and say, no, there's studies that prove that they have a brain just like the girls. I can't believe I have to repeat this yet again. It is impossible for a man to know what it feels like to be a woman. Any more than it's impossible for a woman to know what it's like to feel like to be a man. You know why? You literally have no experience with it. None. You can identify with it. You can be like, oh, yeah, I kind of understand what they're feeling there. No woman will ever know what I feel like any more than I will know what my wife feels like. Even if you get a fancy fake vagina and get pounded, you don't know what it's like for a woman to get pounded, because they actually have something that was made to be pounded. No,
that was a very sexy way of saying that.
Thank you. I mean, the best you can actually say is, I don't like what I am. You can never say, I'm that thing instead. You can't be an instead. You don't know what it feels like to be that thing. It's your mind filling in that blank. But no, science has proven it, you guys. They've proven it because they've done brain scans of trans people, and it kind of looks more womanly than a man's brain. Here's something you should know about the brain. The brain is affected by our actions, our behaviors, our experiences. It actually physically fucking changes. You think maybe there's a reason that people who act like women end up with brains that look like a woman's? I know I'm being too scientific there. We can't really say that for sure, even though we know that that's how the brain works. No, it's just like the girl brain. Well, measure it.
And the people that are going to end up suffering the most when the backlash inevitably comes is going to be people with actual gender dysphoria.
It's already hurting them. It might not. The backlash isn't even the worst part for me there, Jack.
Well, it's the unscientific approach is going to get them in trouble too, because they're not going to be able to be treated correctly by the medical professions.
Yeah, you got they're for all of those who are like, but the 41%. Do you know who's fucking over that 41% right now? All of you are like, this is perfectly normal. Thank you, Dangerous. I got a leg concussion the other day. And don't you horrible bigots dare deny me my truth just because there's no brain in my leg. Studies / science like this have more bullshit than a cattle farm. True story.
Yeah. Well, the fact that they're willing to be unscientific on this should be deeply concerning, because what are they going to do next?
Yeah.
Because this is the type of slippery slope shit that makes certain segments of the population no longer human. This is how you get eugenics. You start denying the reality of science.
And I don't have a problem. I mean, I do because it's stupid, but people are like, you can't say that about trans people. You're allowed your opinion, but this is actually affecting law now. We put protections in place so that you can't in any way discriminate against a guy in a dress, including them going into bathrooms where there's little girls and them walking around with their dicks out. I'm perfectly fine discriminating against men having their dicks out in little girls' faces. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm okay with it. Hey, you're a bigot against it. Yeah, I'm bigoted against fucking freaks who have a vagina fetish. You ever hear these people talk about how it feels?
Yeah, it's
all fetish stuff.
Oh, it's absolutely fetish stuff.
I don't remember where I first heard that, but when I did, I'm like, oh my God, that's what it is. It's a vag fetish.
Yeah, I think we're missing something that's very obvious. Though you can tell this brain scan stuff is horse shit because, like Backscan pointed out, I wasn't going to say this, but we have to face the reality. Women have tiny girl brains, and if you're scanning and you got a normal sized brain, you're a dude. I'm sorry, you got a tiny girl brain. Then you probably have all the parts that come along with it.
That's what I said. If you're saying it's the same thing, weigh it.
Yeah.
All joking aside, the male brain is bigger than the female brain. We have a bigger head than you guys do.
Yeah.
Just on average. But yeah, our brain is bigger.
It's not my fault you don't like the fact that you have tiny girl brains. Just don't think about it, honey. It'll make your head dizzy.
Autogynephilia, Buck Angel talks about it a lot. Yeah, I know Buck does. I heard it from somebody before him, though, and I don't remember who it was. I would love to give credit because I wasn't smart enough to think of that one on my own, Jack. But it's one of those things that when you hear it, it's like, yes, exactly. These people, if you read what they talk about and how they feel, it is just an obsession with being, and not just the vagina. That's a simplistic way of putting it, but they fetishize women to the point of wanting to become them. You guys ever see Single White Female?
You ever see Buffalo Bill and Silence of the Lambs?
It's exactly Buffalo Bill. Yeah.
I'd give it to me.
It is a mental problem, and we're not even allowed to say that anymore.
No, and now cross-dressers are considered trans people, and that's just not the case. So
the idea that you were born in the wrong body shows a problem with your thinking. But nah, bro, you can't say it's a mental disorder.
Yeah, and there's so much less stigma against having mental issues than there used to be, and now they're trying to make it stigmatized again. Real quick, thank you, Dark Resurrect, for that feminist donation. To bring back an old topic, to all the women who chose the bear over the man, you don't understand why we don't want men in women's bathrooms. Have fun with that.
True story.
Yeah. Good luck.
You're never allowed to point out this because they're the ones who love the liberals love their teach men not to rape. But apparently, if you put on a dress, you are physically impossible of raping as a man.
Yeah, just ask that school board in Virginia about that.
Loudoun County. We hardly knew you. Well, speaking of Virginia, they just I didn't even know this was a thing since we're talking about non-scientific stuff. In the U.S., under federal law, the states have to maintain certain carbon standards or adopt California's. Did you know that's a federal fucking law?
No, that's a stupid law because you should never adopt shit coming out of California. It's almost all retarded. So
a couple of years ago, the state of Virginia voted to just tie their carbon nonsense to California.
Yeah, that's a smart move. How bad did that backfire on them?
Well, as much as any environmentalism does. But Governor Youngkin has come out and went, fuck that shit. And here's why. At the time, because this is an actual law in Virginia that was passed by the legislature, signed by the governor. I don't know who the governor was in 2012, but whoever it was is the one who signed it. Since then, California has changed the Environmental Act that they were using.
Okay.
Well, Virginia specifically voted to follow the original one, which ends, it sunsets on December 31st of 2024.
Oh.
So Youngkin's like, yeah, we don't have to do that shit anymore. Even though it was state law, it ends because that did. They didn't vote to just tie it to California. They didn't vote like the law said, we will do whatever California did. It specifically tied it to that legislation.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, they accidentally sunsetted it. So if they want to change it, they have to repass it and get it past him.
Good luck with that.
Hey, Virginia, in 2 years when he's up, well, he's not up for re-election. When he's out of office, don't vote a Democrat in, or your guys are going to have electric vehicles only by what? I think it's the end of 2025, 2030, something like that.
2033, is there something like that?
No, that's when the world's supposed to end.
Oh, yeah. My bad.
Yeah. All of the dates that you see on these things where they're like, we have to hit this emission standard, it's either 2030 or 2050. Anywhere that the politicians who are passing it are likely to be out of office already.
Yeah. It's kind of convenient how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny how that shit works. No, we'll do carbon standards in 2050. Carbon standards are nonsense, by the way. Anyway, we're going to wrap up here. Sorry we couldn't do, I really, so many good videos to go over. The trans person telling us that time doesn't really exist for trans people is fucking wonderful.
Oh my God. Yeah. I want to watch that video.
Me too.
Oh, it was so fun.
When I said it sucks that we can't watch it because I had so many videos, that's the video that I had on my screen at the time that I was annoyed that we couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
It has been raining like hell here in Michigan for the last month, every fucking night. And then today, man, it was like a monsoon out there for half the day. It cleared up long enough for me to go outside for a while. And then it started raining again. My poor cat she does not like storms at all. She doesn't like wind, rain, thunder, lightning. She likes it nice and quiet. She's a little old lady, apparently.
I'm with her on that. I like calm.
If Phoebe was a person, she'd be a little old lady sitting in a window looking to see if there were any Muslims moving into her neighborhood.
So they'd be my mom.
And calling the FBI over it. I had a horrible thought, Jack. Okay, I didn't talk about this on air. Phoebe's having an issue right now where she's over grooming. It happens to cats sometimes. There can be a couple of different causes for it, and one of them is stress. She started doing it last week when I was in that really bad pain.
Yeah.
And she's always been very sensitive to me when I'm in that pain. Even if I'm not expressing it, she just knows. And she's much more loving to me and stuff. And I'm wondering if I'm stressing out my cat.
Maybe.
She has been over grooming. She rarely gets hairballs. Even as a long-haired cat, she rarely gets them. Last night, she spit up a hairball that was about 8 inches long.
That's gross.
Yeah. It looked like somebody took a giant shit in my living room. But it was all just hair from her over grooming. And I feel really bad that I might be causing my cat stress because she's worried about me.
I'd be more worried somebody melted a mouse on your floor.
Oh, but she got lots of extra love today when I had that thought, and she's gotten plenty of it since. I even went and laid down with her in the bedroom for a while today because she likes when we do that, and I sang to the cat. That's a real thing. She likes when I sing, so I took her into the bedroom, and I was petting her and singing to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the cat likes that.
She does, actually. I was playing RimWorld. I wanted to go play more, but Phoebe needed attention.
Yeah, the cat's like, just smile. Smile, he'll stop.
Called what? Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And Monkey, and you say dogs are needy. Here's one thing. Look, I don't know how much, and I really should get her genetically tested, but even just based on her size, that cat clearly has Maine Coon in her. And if you've known anything about Maine Coons, they make dogs look positively independent.
That's true.
Maine Coons are very, very loving kitty cats. Anyway, my last comment about you singing around her. She likes it when I do.
Mm-hmm.
How racially pure is Phoebe? Oh, she's still a mutt. You can see that in her as well, but she has some of the. She is the biggest cat I've ever owned, Jack. And my last cat was also Maine Coon, and he was huge, but she's female and bigger than he was.
Wow, they could get pretty big though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're very big cats.
Pure-blooded ones can look like you got them out of the jungle.
Yeah, like I want a bobcat, but without the aggression issues.
Yes, I want a bobcat that insists on me paying attention to it. My last kitty cat, he would sit there, and if you weren't petting him, he would just tap you until you did. Like, excuse me, I'm right here. I don't know if you saw me.
We had one that would wake me up by taking one claw, hooking my lip, and pulling it down and letting go until I woke up.
Am I shadow banned or what? You don't seem to be. Anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. Guys, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you for the donations. You guys are so, so kind to us. Remember, if I'm not here, it could be Retro's fault, because when I'm done here, Jack,
it's not Retro's fault.
It's Retro's fault.
No,
He's
it's not.
feeding my addiction.
No, he's being supportive.
He
and
is.
You're abusing that.
I was going to say fault doesn't mean negative, but I guess it kind of does.
Yeah.
It's his doing. Is that better?
No,
What do you mean?
That
No?
implies fault.
And Retro, I thank you for it. I'm having a great time with it. I love RimWorld because it is so random. It's never, lots of games say it's never the same game twice, and it's really the same game twice, just in a different setting.
Yeah.
I started today, Jack, with a lone survivor. And typically the game starts with 3 characters, but you can make it harder on yourself with just one. And I get in there, and the first thing that happens is a trade caravan comes by. And in RimWorld, one of the trade caravans is a slave trader, which is kind of, yeah, it's not very PC. And so I bought myself a couple of people. God, that's a horrible thing to say out loud.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, when you buy the people, some of them, you're more or less, I guess, buying their freedom, and then the other ones are still slaves. And I wasn't paying attention, and I accidentally bought a slave. Now, the problem with that is I needed these people to help with defense. You know what you should never give to a slave, Jack?
A weapon?
A weapon. And so I give the slave a weapon, and he helps me do a little stuff around my base. And then
stabs you in the face?
No, actually, he turned against me, killed the other person, and I had to kill him to stop the attack.
Wow. He was killing the house one.
If it makes y'all feel better, they were white pigmented slaves. So
I don't know if that makes it better or not, Monkey.
But that's the kind of shit. All it did is cost me like almost all of my money. Like, well, that just happened.
Never mind the cost of human life.
Oh, fuck them. I didn't know them long enough to care. It was literally in-game time, like 2 days. So I hadn't got attached to them yet. Yeah.
I didn't name them yet, so they're not technically people.
I was just mad at the money loss.
You're not helping your cause here, man.
RimWorld, great game. I love it. And there's a reason I don't play it for long stretches at a time, because I do become obsessed with it. It's just I just need a couple more minutes to do this. If you guys have seen me play 7 days, it's worse than that. But anyway, thanks for hanging out, Jack. A pleasure as always, my friend.
Always glad to be here.
Did I ask you if you wanted to shill yet?
No, but I have nothing to shill. But thank you all so much for the tips and donations. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate all the support you give us. Quite literally, best audience on the internet.
Monkey should apologize to Ice Cube. No, I refuse.
What if he melts?
He could, theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
He could be in Pompeii. Guys,
Wow.
that's an old school joke. Everybody, take care
What
of
about
yourselves.
Herculaneum? No love for Herculaneum? Jeez.
You've heard me pronounce things. You think I'm going to say that word?
Yes, because it'd be hilarious to me.
This was a weird one. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye, everybody.
I'm leaving now. Oh, that'll get me. I was gonna say to go buy more slaves, and that's just probably gonna get me in trouble.
That'll get you in trouble.
I'm leaving now to go play RimWorld. Bye, guys.